everybody, it's Ipo, aka Butterfly, and Just Mike the Poet. We're going to start a live talk show called Depths of a Poet's Soul. It's going to feature artists from the Chicago area, so that's local artists, and around the world. We're going to require audience participation, so we look forward to participating with you guys, interacting with you guys, and we're going to talk about this thing. So, Just Like the Poet, Depths of a Poet's Soul. What made you come up with that whole concept? What was the concept behind that name?
It's just to get a little bit more further knowing a poet. You know, a lot of times we in and out of different poetry sets or features and things like that, and we do our poems, and after that we leave, we go on, you know, with our lives. So the show will actually bring out more of who that poet is, you know, more about them, their journey that they took to even pick up a pen and to start writing, some of the things that they deal with possibly on a daily basis. So just balancing their lives with being an artist and being a family person. And I really want to get in more into that poet, you know, the depths of their soul, you know, the things that they love, know who's their favorite artist or the person that inspired them, you know, growing up. But just to give a little bit more deeper into the poet and who they are, you know, and why they do what they do. So a lot of times we go throughout life and, you know, God forbid one of us passes away and we never knew what was Butterfly's real name, and you don't even know the person's real name. So now some people may not even want their government name to even be out there, but you know them as their artist name. So I may ask a certain poet, well, what's your real name? You know, I know you as so and so, or some poets go by their real name, you know. But that's pretty much the breakdown, a little bit of it.
Okay.
You know.
Wow, that's amazing. That's beautiful because, like you said, a lot of people don't know the poets. They don't know the background. They don't know where these pieces come from, and that's the things that we're gonna touch on our show. The background of the pieces and get in depth with that poet. And what made you decide that you want to start this live audience show? Like, how did you even come up with that concept?
I just wanted to be something that's real, you know, something where everybody can be in a room and really be able to draw in and feel the poet. You know, it'll be all spotlights, you know, on that one poet that's there that I'm sitting down, you know, interviewing, or that you sitting down happen to be interviewing, interacting, asking questions. The audience can, you know, they can feel all of that. You know, some of the questions may be funny, they may even get emotional, and I want the audience to be able to feel that everything, the energy and everything that's going on, you know, while they're being interviewed, you know, and they can interact as well too. You know, they may have questions or comments on certain things that we're talking about. So I really wanted them there, you know, to be there.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yes.
And I do want to just tell you that you are truly a blessing. You have a beautiful mind. That is just awesome. The things that you're doing in the community. You have in this show. You do a sports radio show.
Yes.
Also. So you are absolutely amazing, and I'm honored to be your co-host.
Man, I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to have you. Thank you for that. Man, you know, we all put here for a purpose and for a reason, and sometimes going through life we may think we're purpose for this or that, and we discover more things,
yes,
you know, on our journey.
Absolutely.
You know, that we good at, that we have passions at doing and love at. So, you know, for me, you know, it's Depths of a Poet's Soul. It's even more than just being a poet, you know, for me. So, you know, it's pretty much about discovering and learning, you know, even ourselves. So,
yes, that's beautiful. So we look forward to you guys, and we hope we get some feedback, and we will be starting our show in February 2018, somewhere in there.
Yes,
we will definitely keep you posted.
Most definitely. Make sure y'all keep y'all schedules, you know, open for that. Excuse me, actual date. You could go ahead and pencil. What's
I'm
that?
just kidding. Nothing.
Oh, okay. But actually, you know, how long have you actually been writing
Oh, I've written all my life.
All
I've
your
written all
life?
my life.
So for 22 years you've been writing?
Yeah, about
Oh,
that, somewhere in there, about 22 years.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Cool.
I've been writing all my life. I shared for a while when I was in high school. Then I stopped because of a situation that happened. I just stopped sharing, but I still wrote. And then my son actually dances, and that's how I started back getting into the poetry scene and the artist scene, when I would take him to events.
Okay.
And they would dance, and the events that he would go to, it would be an open mic, and they would perform and stuff, and that's how I got interested in it. My oldest daughter is a model, so I've seen that's how I saw you the first time, and a lot of the other artists that I not interact with. And then I just decided to do it one day. I was actually at an artist called Kai Love's event in Blue Island, Illinois, and it's called, what's the name of her thing? I added this part. What is the name of her thing?
I Recite.
Yes. I was at I Recite with Kai Love, and they were reading their pieces. So that's what made me, that's the first time I stepped out at I Recite with Kai Love.
Okay, awesome. And how did that work? How did that turn out for you?
It was pretty, I was really nervous, like shaking nervous, and I read my piece, and actually she let me read 2 pieces. So I was like excited and honored that she allowed me to do that. I love you, Kai. And I read it pretty fast, but she was listening, so she told me I did well, and she actually rebutted some of the stuff that I did. So I know that she was actually listening to what I said, and she's experienced, so she knows, the nervousness of first-time artists. If you have an artist inside of you, let it out, unleash.
Now, what has, I know it's one thing to write, it's another thing to actually perform or speak out. So what has that done for you, even just the writing, all the way leading up to the speaking out? What has that actually done for you?
It has it's strengthened me. It has reassured me. It's got me back to who I was as a person, because life happens, and sometimes you lose pieces of yourself. So it allowed me to get those pieces back. It has opened a lot of doors for me as well. Awesome. I do the radio show with Corey Wright, and a TV show with him will be coming up, and then the shows that I'm doing with you.
What's the name of the show?
Solutions Radio Show. Okay. On Intellectual Radio. It's an iHeart Radio show. And we're going to be doing a lot of different things with that. I'm participating and being a co-host with you as well. So it has opened a lot of doors that I would have not even thought about right now. I wouldn't have thought about it. So it's all divine, and it's all awesome. And you have a purpose, unleash it, let it out. It may not even be writing. You may not be an artist. It may be something else. You may be an entrepreneur. Whatever it is, unleash it, let it go.
Awesome. Great. Now, do you actually have a poem or something that you wrote that really stands out to you, where it really, it kind of stands out above the other poems?
My favorite one is Foundation, which is really long. I always just do the first part of that because it's really long, and the second part is kind of, it has a little eroticism in it, but not much. It don't go too far, but it is a little more in depth with that part. So I always do the first part of Foundation. That's my signature piece for 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And do you have a schedule of even like working on your art or performing your pieces? Because I've watched you, and it seemed like you've gotten I guess better. You've gotten more into your poems and more confident. So do you actually write out a schedule, or you take time to work on your art and your craft?
Yeah, it's the time that I put in with it. My whole mindset is different about my gift. So that's one thing about me that has changed my mindset about how I approach my gift and how I believe in my gift. I do believe that your God-given gifts is what you need to give out to the world. That's your purpose. That's what's going to allow you to flourish and grow as a person, as a human being. So if you don't, and I will not let anybody stop me from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't let that go, it's like, for me, I feel like I'm gonna die if I don't
Wow.
if I don't work on my art, if I don't go to a poetry set. I can't get to all the sets that I want to get to because, you know, other things are going on, life is going on. But if I don't do this, I feel like I'm not living. So
I can definitely attest to that. Wow, that's inspiring already. I'm so ready to get this Depths of a Poet show started. You know, this is all, you know, motivation. That's how I kind of, you know, keep going, is off of motivation. I feed off of motivation. It could be like I listen to a lot of words and I could hear something during the day and it just be like a confirmation. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. You know, I got to start it now. It can't wait till tomorrow. It has to be right then and there. You know, so I'm definitely, you know, looking forward to it. And, you know, just you all, you know, the audience participation, it's gonna be nice.
I got a quick question for you before we stop our preview.
That's fine.
Is there do you ever find yourself jumping up in the middle of the night to write?
Quite a lot. I've written a lot of my poems actually at night, and sometimes when I have trouble sleeping, I believe it's for me to write because it's something that's on my mind. And when I can't sleep, I get up and I'll first ask, is it something, you know, I need to write? You know, I would ask that, you know.
You ask that to?
I would ask that to God. I would ask God, is it something you want me to write? Something you want me to let out? Yeah. And he would give me something. He would give me something to write or to talk about or to release. And one of the poems that I woke up on, I was actually asleep and I was dreaming. And it was like I was having a nightmare.
Excuse me.
It's like I was having a nightmare. And that's the poem that I got up and wrote. It's called Nightmare.
Wow. And
I got up and wrote it. You know, it's like 4 a.m. You know, I was writing just about the world, how the world then is, at that particular time, it just seemed like a big old nightmare. Like I couldn't see the good stuff in the world. I couldn't see, you know, beautiful things happen. All I saw was evil. I saw a lot of bad things, and it was just real, like, scary. I think it was a time when I don't know if you remember the Dark Knight shooter, when dude came up in the theater.
Right. Yes.
And it was like, when all that stuff was going on, it's like, man, that's a nightmare. Like, it was crazy. So I got up and I wrote about it. I just started releasing it. You know, it's like a nightmare. It's like a nightmare around souls that don't care, hearts that don't fear. I'm talking God, minds is closed and won't clear. It's not right. It's like we live in a life that's not fair. And that was like the little hook, you know, because I started out rapping.
Right.
But that's like the little hook to it. Then I'll go into the piece, you know, about it being a nightmare. And so a lot of times my poems come at night. They'll come anywhere, but at night I've got out some really good poems at night. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're going to end this preview because Mike and I can go on and on and on. We vibe like that. So we look forward to you guys interacting with us on the show, Depths of a Poet's Soul. Remember, Depths of a Poet's Soul. All right? Don't forget. We're going to keep reminding you guys. See you soon.
Most definitely. Stay tuned. Peace and love. That's Mike.
God bless.